We are One Nation. Good evening. Welcome to the news at 19 hours on TV1. My name is Chilufya Mwelwa, and on sign language tonight is Obed Mambwe. A quick run through the top stories at this hour. President Edgar Lungu says the disturbance in the Democratic Republic of Congo is an issue of concern and needs urgent attention by SADC member countries. Speaker of the National Assembly, Patrick Matibini, challenges members of Parliament to understand the contents of the 7th National Development Plan. City Hope Relief and Development has committed $1 million to the Esther Lungu Foundation Trust towards medicines to the people of Zambia. And Zambia shows no interest in hosting the 2018 African Nations Cup Championship plan. Details in our news this evening. President Edgar Lungu says the disturbance in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, is an issue of concern and needs urgent attention by SADC member countries. President Lungu says countries in the SADC region are concerned with the crisis and it should be addressed collectively because it affects everyone in the bloc. Speaking before departure to Angola to attend the inauguration of his counterpart, President Lungu said he will use the opportunity to discuss the crisis in DR Congo and find solutions. The president said he hopes not to want to be seen like he is interfering in DRC affairs, but that he wants to assist in finding a solution to the crisis. The head of state also said Zambia, with the help of its partners, will work to address the human catastrophe happening in the DRC. And President Lungu said Zambia is on track with local integration of refugees.
We are dealing with in the region, and I think I did not mince words when I spoke to the American Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs that it's a problem which is going to affect all of us in the region. And one of the reasons why I'm going to Angola is to talk to the President-elect to see how we can help the Congolese situation stabilize. Because refugees from Congo are coming to Zambia, they're in Angola, they're in all the neighboring regions. And we thought that we could meet President Kabila in the UN precinct and talk to him about our concerns. But he came late after we all had left. But I think it's a problem, a real one, and we should address it collectively. We don't want to be seen to be interfering in Congo affairs, but we cannot let a situation where people are just displaced overnight and they just blossom all over the region. It's a challenge. We're not interfering with Congo, but we want them to find a solution to containing peace, law and order, and so on. That's my immediate reaction. As SADC, we're very well concerned.
Okay, maybe as a country currently, because now there are like 6,000 refugees, are we able to handle the numbers coming in?
Well, with the help of friends, not only in the region, but beyond, we will help. We will be able to handle the situation. Because if a problem comes like that, it's not different from what is happening in the Caribbean, where you see Hurricane Maria, Hurricane Ima, Hurricane whatever. Humanity demands that we pull together, shoulder to shoulder. It's a human catastrophe, human problem. It affects all of us. So if there are issues of governance in Congo and people are displaced in that manner, all of us should work together in the region and beyond to make sure that we provide the best for them. Because it can happen to us tomorrow, it can happen to anybody.
And President Lungu says the peaceful transition of power in Angola has set a new era of democratization process in Africa. President Lungu says the election of President João Lourenço as president of Angola is a clear sign that democracy has come to stay on the African continent. President Lungu says he is looking forward to enhanced cooperation between Zambia and Angola. The president was speaking on arrival in Angola, where he is attending the inauguration of João Lourenço, who will be sworn in tomorrow. Here's a report.
It is a new era in the democratic dispensation of Angolan politics. José Eduardo dos Santos, who has been in power for 38 years, is now preparing to hand over power to his successor. José Eduardo dos Santos has been at the reign of power since 1975, when the country got its independence from Portugal. But in less than 24 hours, former Defense Minister João Lourenço will be sworn in as new president of Angola. Mr. Lourenço, candidate of the ruling People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, MPLA, won the elections with a margin of 60%, beating the opposition UNITA, who managed 27%. His inauguration has been set for Tuesday, September 26th, and President Edgar Lungu will be among those invited. Zambia's ambassador to Angola says over 50 African heads of state and government have been invited.
Apart from our head of state, other heads of states have been invited. The number is about 50. So we expect the president also, our president, to have side meetings with other presidents here to tackle issues that border between Zambia and relations with other countries. So it's very important that the president participates in a platform of this nature.
President Lungu will take advantage of his presence in Luanda to interact with Zambians based here.
When the president will be on the ground here, we've made a program so that he interacts with the diaspora in Angola. And this is very important for the president to listen to the needs of the diaspora, and we have arranged an interaction, a direct interaction between the president and the Zambians who live here in Angola.
President Lungu has already arrived in Luanda, the capital of Angola, and a busy schedule awaits him. President Edgar Lungu's plane touched down at 18 hours Zambian time at the Ferroviário International Airport and was received by the outgoing Foreign Affairs Minister of Angola and Zambia's local government minister Vincent Mwale. President Edgar Lungu was given a presidential salute by the Angolan Defense Forces. President Lungu is looking for even closer ties between Zambia and Angola.
Angola is a big neighbor in terms of size, big one, strategic for us in Zambia. What we'd like to see forward is that increased cooperation between Zambia and Angola.
Now, Tuesday's inauguration ceremony for the president-elect will take place at the Augustino Neto Memorial Site right here in Luanda. Now, this occasion has been described as a milestone for the SADC region, which has continued to witness a smooth transition of power. Katwi Shivalia reporting from Luanda, Angola.
Vice President Inongewina says the provision of legislation to guide operations of political parties should be viewed as an opportunity to enhance the legal framework of the country's democratic agenda. Mrs. Wina was speaking during the official opening of the 5-day National Stakeholders Consultative Forum on the 2017 Political Parties Bill. Ruth Mwale reports.
The National Stakeholders Consultative Forum on the Political Bill 2017 has started and will run through for 5 days. The forum is aimed at bringing various political parties together and consult them on what is contained in the document. Vice President Inongewina officiated at the forum with a call for various stakeholders to make submissions on clauses in the bill.
Political parties are a key feature of democracy and good governance that provide citizens with a platform and structure for political participation, and also serves as a training ground for further political leaders and party at national levels.
Minister of Justice Given Luinda explains why it is important for various stakeholders to participate in the consultative process.
As a ministry, we have a duty to ensure that legislation being drafted conforms to national policy requirements, international obligations, and standards. To this end, and to the extent possible, the Ministry of Justice shall endeavor to be as consultative as possible on all issues that are of such national significance.
The Zambia Law Development Commission chairperson was also in attendance.
We are also happy that we are facilitating this meeting and will, at the end of the meeting, compile a report of the recommendations which will be submitted to the Ministry of Justice for the bill's finalization.
For international organizations present, the consultative meeting will strengthen democracy in the country.
The political parties bill, once adopted, will cover a variety of important aspects that will serve to strengthen and formalize the overall role of political parties in this country.
These are bedrocks for ensuring inclusiveness and that no one is left behind. We therefore commend the Ministry of Justice for disseminating the draft political party bill of 2017 using various platforms including websites, discussion topic on TV and radios.
Once this document is complete, it is expected to be debated in Parliament. Ruth Mwale, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
Now, the labour movement in the country says by increasing salaries and other incentives for civil servants, government has demonstrated its commitment and willingness to improve the welfare of the people. Zambian Congress of Trade Unions ZCTU General Secretary Cosmas Mukuka says the increments are in the best interest of the nation. Patrick Mulenga now reports.
Government and the labour movement exchanged documents of new collective agreement for civil servants. They tossed because government has increased salaries for civil servants between 7.4 and 9.6%. This increment follows months of negotiations between government and the Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, which is an umbrella body for public service unions.
We have tackled the issue of salary. It should again be noted that in arriving at the percentage increases ranging from 7.4 to 9.62. This covers much of the hardships which our workers have been having.
And Public Service Management Division Permanent Secretary Boniface Chimbwali says the PF government has again scored another milestone in the quest to fulfill its campaign promises to civil servants.
We did request the workforce to be patient and persevere with a promise that once the economy picked up, we would come up with a salary increase. And as government, we've fulfilled that promise. Although the amounts may not be at the level at which the worker would have wished them to be.
And the teachers' union has welcomed the move by government.
But looking at what is bringing the economy, I think that is how far we would go. You would realize that it took almost 10 days. In one place, we presented what we thought was the best for the teachers. But at the end, bargaining is give and take. It's literally what is available.
This increment is effective January next year. The agreement reached by the two parties will benefit both government and the civil service for the promotion of a motivated workforce. Patrick Mulenga, ZNBC News in Lusaka.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Patrick Matibini, has challenged members of Parliament to understand the contents of the 7th National Development Plan. Dr. Matibini says this is because the 7th National Development Plan is the blueprint for the country's development in the next 5 years. He says MPs should take interest in knowing the contents of the plan in order to provide informed checks and balances on the executive. The Speaker was speaking when he officiated at the 7th National Development Plan workshop for MPs in Lusaka today. And acting clerk of the National Assembly, Cecilia Mbewe, said Parliament has a crucial responsibility to implement the 7th National Development Plan. Mrs. Mbewe said the knowledge that will be acquired from the workshop can be used by members of Parliament to take development to their respective constituencies.
The extent to which Parliament can ensure that the government remains accountable to the people can be said to be a true test of democracy and good governance. Honourable members, the three functions of Parliament outlined require Parliament to legislate and represent the electorate. Parliament does this by reviewing and monitoring and supervising government and its agencies' plans, programs, activities, as well as policy implementation.
Parliament has a particularly critical responsibility to ensure that this plan is successfully implemented. It is in this vein that the National Assembly organized a seminar for members of staff on the 7th National Development Plan on 6th September 2017. The seminar was also facilitated by the Secretary to the Cabinet and his team. The knowledge acquired by staff during that seminar will enhance their support to honorable members in their execution of parliamentary responsibilities. In this regard, honorable members, today's seminar for members of Parliament on the 7th National Development Plan could not come at a better time than now.
You're watching the news on TV1. We take our first break. We have more news after that. Stay with us. We continue with the news. The Lusaka Magistrates Court has acquitted Minister of Religious Affairs and National Guidance, Godfrida Sumaili, on one count of contempt of court. Lusaka Magistrate Irene Wishimanga acquitted the minister after the state offered a no evidence against her. In this matter, Reverend Sumaili was dragged to court by UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema and 5 others for allegedly commenting on a treason charge that they were facing. The treason charge in question was, however, dropped by the Lusaka High Court following the DPP's decision to enter a nolle prosequi. When the matter came up today, lawyers from the National Prosecution Authority informed the court that after going through the matter, they have come to a conclusion that there is no evidence to prosecute the minister. Mr. Hichilema and 5 others had attempted to prosecute the case using private lawyers, but the DPP refused, saying the law only allows her office to prosecute all criminal matters in Zambia. Lusaka Magistrate Irene Wishimanga allowed the DPP to take over the case after Mr. Hichilema and 5 others withdrew their objection for the state to take over the case. Meanwhile, Namwala Member of Parliament Mono Lubeji and 7 others have been rearrested on allegations of malicious damage to property and assault. The suspects were rearrested immediately after they were discharged by Namwala Magistrate Andrew Kasongo after the state entered a nolle prosequi. This is because a nolle prosequi is not an acquittal and a suspect can still be rearrested for the same offence and prosecuted using the same facts. In this matter, it is alleged that the suspects did assault FDD Namwala parliamentary losing candidate Charity Kabongomana during the 2016 general elections. Others who were assaulted are the District Council Chairperson Prince Sikangoma and Manfred Sichikoloma. The Namwala UPND MP is further accused of having damaged Charity Kabongomana's Land Rover Discovery registration number ALT 776 during campaigns in 2016. The Commission of Inquiry into Voting Patterns and Electoral Violence has urged people intending to make submissions at its public sittings not to be intimidated by the presence of police officers. Commission Vice Chairperson Mavis Chisanga said this during the official opening of public sittings in Kasama to mark the start of deliberations in Northern Province. Masao Somkwayaya has a report.
Since inception, the Commission of Inquiry into Voting Patterns and Electoral Violence has been moving with police officers. The officers have accompanied the Commission at all its public sittings. Sadly, the presence of these men in uniform has been misunderstood and has unsettled a number of people who have turned up to make submissions. The Commission is worried that if this remains unclarified, people may be discouraged to turn up to make submissions.
After our inquiry, we are expected to make recommendations in accordance with the mandate that we've been given, for measures to be taken to prevent the occurrence of violence in future, before, during and after elections, and to ensure that voting outcomes are reflective of what people wanted.
Meanwhile, during the official opening of public sittings in Northern Province, Provincial Permanent Secretary Dr. Jobix Kalumba noted that the success of the commission wholly depends on impartial submissions from citizens.
Commissioners and all those who are submitting their concerns. If we want the voting pattern to change in the years to come, it all depends on us. If we don't submit reliable information on which the commission is going to base its decision and recommendations, we'll have ourselves to be blamed.
Meanwhile, a Kasama-based senior citizen, Newton Mwape, has proposed the introduction of a system where cabinet and provincial ministers will be appointed from all regions across the country. Mr. Mwape feels the appointment of provincial ministers in provinces where they hail from is causing disunity.
Promote unity, not to put the minister from where he came from. You are not promoting unity. You are now dividing the people, because they will say, here I am, it's in my own province. So it will even apply to others. We have even observed, if you can name these 10 provinces, you will see that most of 100% ministers are from that place or region. So you are not promoting unity.
During its sitting in Kasama, the commission also urged people not to be scared of ZNBC and Zanis cameras during its sittings. Commission Vice Chairperson Mavis Chisanga said the cameras are there to capture clips that are being used to produce TV reports on ZNBC. Masauso Mukwayaya, ZNBC News, Kasama, Northern Province.
We take another commercial break. We have more news after that. Stay with us. Welcome back. We continue with the news. The Presidential Marketeers Empowerment Initiative Fund has disbursed over 100,000 kwacha to traders at Mpatamatu Market in Luansha on the Copper Belt. And Fund National Coordinator Clement Tembo says the money has been given to traders who recently applied for the loans. Mr. Tembo was speaking when he addressed hundreds of traders at Mpatamatu Market. Details in the following report.
The Presidential Empowerment Initiative Fund National Coordinator is here on the Copper Belt. Clement Tembo is checking on marketeers and traders who are currently benefiting from the Presidential Fund. And this morning, Mr. Tembo with Luansha Mayor Nathan Chanda visited Mpatamatu Market. And Mr. Tembo feels the initiative is President Edgar Lungu's vision to improve the lives for those in the informal sector.
We disbursed 220,000 when we just started, and over 300 plus benefited, and so surely His Excellency President Edgar Chagwa Lungu has a heart for the people. He has a great heart, and it's very big heart that he wants to accommodate each and every marketeer. He has a great passion for our women, our mothers. You see, these women, the marketeers, they play an integral part of our economy. Wherever you go, they contribute largely to our GDP.
The Mayor of Luansha had a word of advice to marketeers.
And I'm grateful to the National Coordinator of Presidential Empowerment Fund, and even what he's done today, because the people of Ron and Luansha in particular are complaining about the repayment period, and you've come to the head of our marketeers where you've allowed them to be paying after a period of time. This is very commendable.
Anna Msonda is a trader at Mpatamatu Market.
President Balungu Chagwalungu inensha monapokwena ngefiba chitire ifya kutile chalo chonse cha kulefi mama market sayengi ela chila muntu bampanga ifine na alipoka ko 500.
And they have an appeal to make.
Biashara tambo kuperwa ma markets no katashileperwa bwino tuleperwa panono erondenda batutambira boyali chepa.
This team is expected to travel to Solwezi on a similar operation. Mshota Mpundu, ZNBC News in Rwansha.
Meanwhile, the Presidential Empowerment Initiative Fund has given 10,000 kwacha to 35 pupils of Chisomo Primary School in Serenje District to help them write their end-of-year examinations. The money will go towards helping the children with transport to Kunda Lumwansha Primary School, where they are supposed to write their examinations from. Initiative patron Chanda Kabwe says the gesture was in response to Chief Chisomo's request to help the children in the school sit for their examinations. Mr. Kabwe said the gesture also represents government's efforts of ensuring every child is given an opportunity to access education. In a statement issued to ZNBC News in Lusaka, Mr. Kabwe, who is also Central Province Permanent Secretary, said he would, however, liaise with the Examinations Council of Zambia to ensure an examination center is established at the school next year. Minister of Higher Education Nkanduluo has directed media organizations in the country to allow journalists to specialize in science and technology so that the public can be well informed. Professor Luo said this during the National Biosafety Authority stakeholder consultative meeting on the biotechnology and biosafety policy held in Livingston. Mombe Hamawola has the details.
Representatives of government, civil society organizations and the farming community, among others, have come together for a consultative meeting on the biotechnology and biosafety policy. The meeting, that is being held under the auspices of the National Biosafety Authority (NBA), has been graced by Higher Education Minister Professor Nkanduluo.
We talk about going to find investors to come to Africa, to come and help build our economy. Sad, because we should be the ones going out there to help those countries because of the so much natural resources that God gave us.
The minister is also looking forward to more media coverage in sciences.
Start appointing people within your press who will just have a special focus on science, so that over and beyond this policy review, people can be exposed to the importance of science.
Professor Luo has also underscored the importance of human resource development in science.
If we are going to leave the University of Zambia, Mulungushi University, Copperbelt University, full of young people whose focus is fighting, whose focus is demonstrating, believe it or not, even the 2030 vision for Zambia or the 2063 agenda for Africa is not going to be achieved.
And speaking earlier at the same function, National Biosafety Authority Board Chairperson Dr. Paul Zambezi said the authority is reviewing the current policy to capture global innovations.
We definitely have a large deficiency in the expertise in this technology. And I will urge us, as we sit here and review this document, that we lay emphasis on human resource development.
Among the issues that have raised controversy in biotechnology and biosafety around the world is the growing of genetically modified foods, and it is expected that the new policy will encompass a sensitization aspect to the public. Mombeha Mobola, ZNBC News in Livingston.
Minister of Transport and Communications Brian Mushimba has urged the Zambia Postal Services to come up with innovative ways of doing business. Mr. Mushimba said this in a speech read on his behalf by Lusaka Province Minister Jafen Mwakalombe during the official opening of the newly constructed post office in Chawama constituency. Hector Simfukwe gives us the details.
A new facility to house the post office has been commissioned in Lusaka's Chawama constituency. The business community in the area has helped put up this facility at the cost of 1 million kwacha. Authorities will now demolish the old post office for expansion of Chawama Clinic, which will be funded by the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA. Lusaka Province Minister Jafin Mwakarombe represented Minister of Transport and Communication, Brian Mushimba, at the ceremony.
The cutting edge of responding and adapting to opportunities and challenges through innovation with the goal of ensuring that the cooperation remain viable. In closing, I wish to thank the area member of parliament and the business community, Clicks Zambia, for building this post office and inviting my ministry to be part of the building handover to Zampost. I wish to declare this post office officially open. I thank you and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Chawama Member of Parliament Lawrence Sicharo said he will continue working with the business community to bring development to his constituency.
Once we have handed over this post office and demolished the old one, we will then see the expansion of Chawama Clinic by JICA. We also did promise the people of Chawama that we will turn Chawama into what we will call Chawama's Dell. And going forward to fulfill our campaign promise, you will be seeing a library in the constituency being constructed just next to the post office.
And Aki Visirakoplas assured the people of Chawama that the business community will not hesitate to help build facilities such as police stations and libraries.
We believe that the office will continue to provide the services to the people in a conducive environment, and the people of Chawama constituency will continue to benefit from the venture. Guest of honor, sir. Allow me to also thank the people of Chawama constituency for the support that they have given to our business in 13 years that I've been doing business in the area.
Now that the post office has been built, the people of Chawama will be looking forward to the quick expansion of Chawama Clinic. Hector Simfukwe, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
Patriotic Front PF Secretary General Davis Mwila says Zambia values the warm bilateral relations it shares with the Palestinian government. Mr. Mwila says Zambia is always ready to learn and foster relations with Palestine. He was speaking in Lusaka today when Yuri Davis, a member of the Palestine Council, paid a courtesy call on him at his office. And Mr. Davis said he looks forward to working with the PF and government in uniting the two countries. And Palestinian ambassador to Zambia, Walid Hassan, said he will work to strengthen relations with Zambia.
As Zambians and the Palestinians, we've always been working together in terms of our cooperation, bilateral cooperation. And I would like to appeal to yourselves, Your Excellency, that we have to enhance our cooperation for the benefit of the two countries, the Palestinians and as well as the Zambians.
That led my commissioner, Central Committee member Rauhi Fatou, to choose me for this particular assignment, namely to press upon your ruling party, to press upon their government, your government. I've got a schedule of visiting of some sense.
We take our final break. We have the rest of the news after that. Don't go away. Welcome back, and now for the rest of the news. City Hope and Relief Development has committed $1 million to the Esther Lungu Foundation Trust to go towards medicines to the people of Zambia in 2018. ZNBC's Joy Siatubi reports that the certificate of donation was presented to First Lady Esther Lungu in Denver by Explore Incorporation President Cherry Briggs in association with Project Cure. Here's a report.
from the City Hope.
Her works have continued to catch the attention of international donors who have seen the need to work with the First Lady to help the vulnerable in Zambia. City Hope Relief and Development is the latest organization to partner with the Esther Lungu Foundation Trust to increase access to quality health care across Zambia. $1 million worth of donated medicines has been committed to the people of Zambia in 2018.
As your visit has become known widely in the United States over the last week, other good helpers have come to the forefront and offered their assistance to you and the foundation in your efforts to help children in Zambia.
I can assure you that this gesture of goodwill that you have shown will go a long way in giving life to the Zambian people.
Later in the evening, the Denver community gathered to listen to Zambia's First Lady as she delivered a keynote speech during a VIP reception hosted in her honor by Project Cure.
Investing in health is not just an investment in saving lives, it is certainly an investment into national economies because, as the adage goes, healthy people make healthy nations and hence prosperous economies.
She also delivered a message from President Edgar Lungu, whom she said was extremely grateful for the warm reception the Zambian delegation has received in Denver. And Esther Lungu Foundation trustee Bernadette Decker gave the audience some of the achievements that the First Lady has scored not only in Zambia but globally.
She advocates for the empowerment of women and girls, maternal and child health, and for persons living with disabilities. Her Excellency has joined global leaders to press for the elimination of child marriages, discrimination against persons with disabilities, and elimination of gender-based violence.
The First Lady will also attend the First Lady's Luncheon, which will be attended by over 1,400 guests from different states of America, aimed at raising funds for the shipment of donated equipment by Project Cure to Zambia. Joy Siatubi, ZNBC News, Denver, USA.
And finally in the news, Minister of Sports Moses Mawere says Zambia has not shown interest in hosting the 2018 African Nations Cup Championship, CHAN. Mawere says it is not possible that Zambia can be willing to host the CHAN when the Football Association of Zambia FAS just withdrew from hosting the Under-23 Championship in 2019. Kenya was stripped of the right to host the CHAN tournament next year. Mawere says the country is still positioning itself for future engagements after successfully hosting the Under-20 Championship this year. He told ZNBC Sports in an interview in Kitwe that football in Zambia has grown and participation increased, thereby requiring a lot of investment.
FAS just withdrew the offer which were given to them to host the Under-23, that is 2019. And that we are just coming from hosting the Under-20, which saw us hosting it successfully. It was our first time to host that kind of sport magnitude, and we performed very well. And the CAF had confidence in us, that's why they had to ask us to host the Under-23. But of course, I think we were still in the process of us recovering and also preparing for future engagements. So there is a lot of investment in football. So we wanted to concentrate on our investment because we have hosted before, and just going forward, we can also participate by going to other countries which are hosting.
That report wraps up the news at 19 hours, but before we go, here's a reminder of the headlines. President Edgar Lungu says the disturbance in the Democratic Republic of Congo is an issue of concern and needs urgent attention by SADC member countries. Speaker of the National Assembly, Patrick Mativini, challenges members of Parliament to understand the contents of the 7th National Development Plan. City Hope Relief and Development has committed $1 million to the Esther Lungu Foundation Trust towards medicines to the people of Zambia. And Zambia shows no interest in hosting the 2018 African Nations Cup Championship plan. That's it. That's the news. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the entire production team, we'll see you at 22 hours with another news bulletin. Bye for now.